Good afternoon everybody and welcome to the opening round of TCR Europe 2023 here at the beautiful Portimão circuit in the Algarve, where we are about to get started for what should be a very exciting championship. This is TCR Europe 2023. Interestingly, we are joined by the new Kumho TCR World Tour as well, where drivers in the Kumho TCR World Tour will score points towards their own results. But before we get started, we're going to head straight down onto the circuit and talk to Francisco Melo, who's going to have a few words with some of our drivers on the grid.
Each time that I start to walk
We are here in this amazing starter grid with Mr. Marcello Lotti, the president of WSC. Marcello, great grid, start of the new championship and TCR Europe. Tell us about the World Tour and, of course, TCR Europe.
I have to say, yeah, we work hard in the last few months to arrive here. Now we are here, the qualifying is done. I think good result also for qualifying, all the cars are very close. And now we are here for an historic moment, for the first event of the first race of the TCR World Tour. Yeah, we are quite satisfied at the moment. It's a good grid, very professional driver, good level of driver. And so we will see what's going on after the race and waiting tomorrow for the race too.
Thank you, Marcello.
Ciao.
And we are still coming, so please follow me. And we are trying to do an interview with the pole sitter, Norbert Michelis. Let's see what is Norby is here. I'm sorry, first time doing the grid walk, so bear with me. Oh, the door is closed. Can we? Posso rapidamente. Norby, could we have a quick chat? I think not. No problem. Let's try again. The drivers are concentrated on their task because the race is about to start. And let's try to have a quick chat with the two-time TCR Europe champion and WTC. Okay, so I have the information that Norby can have an interview. Okay, excuse me. Hey, Norby, congratulations, amazing pole position. Tell us about the strategy for the race.
It's an easy strategy, to be honest. It's to have a good start and then to finish on the podium. It's the main target. It's not going to be easy because I'm not sure if we are the fastest on the long run, but I will do my best.
Thank you, Norby. Here we were with the pole sitter, Norbert Michelis. Let's see if we can have a quick chat with Rob Huff. Okay. I think now they are buckling the seat belts. Let's try with Vervish. Okay. I'll conclude. Excuse me. Sorry. Hey, Frederick, what's the plan for today? Maximum attack?
What do you think? yeah, for sure. For sure, we'll try to go forward and make it difficult for the Hyundai guys and stay in front of the guys behind. So, yeah.
Thank you. And now it's for now to the grid. Now let's go back to the commentary for race 1 of TCR Europe.
Great stuff down there on the grid with Francisco. Thank you very much for trying to force your way in to a few of the drivers just before they're about to start racing here at the Portimão circuit. Welcome, absolute welcome to everybody at home. If you are a returning fan of TCR Europe, it's great to have you back with us. And if you are new to the championship, welcome to what will be an incredible weekend of racing, starting right here and right now with race 1 at the Portimão circuit. We have got a stacked field of drivers this weekend. We have got 22 quality performers, and this man performed best of all during qualification. Of course, it is Norbert Michelitz. Pole position by a whisker from his teammates, Mikel Ashkona, in second position, a BRC Hyundai front row lockout of the grid. We didn't see that coming, to be quite frank, looking at the times during free practice, but when qualification came, the Hyundais came alive and the car was incredible. Spoke to Mikel and Norby in the break between qualification. They were both saying the balance of the car is very strong on the front row of the grid. The only target for that team is to push and to see if they can convert that into a race victory. But I know a chap who'll be very reluctant to allow those two Hyundai Elantra and TCRs to escape, and that is Rob Huff. Huff has been competitive in the Kumho Audi all weekend, put in a storming lap during qualification to secure the front of the second row of the grid. And we know the Audi is strong. Kumho have experience on this track in this championship, courtesy of 2022, so they hold a little bit of an upper hand. Franco Girolami, who was the 2022 TCR Europe champion, won the second race here last season, so they know how the car behaves. They know the car on these tyres in these similar kind of weather conditions, so I expect Kumho to be very keen to move forward over the progression of the next 12 laps of racing. We can see the fans now all starting to filter away from the grid, so very, very shortly we will be engaging in our formation lap. The cars will go back round to the circuit and start from a standing start, as is the process here in TCR Europe, in TCR Touring Car Competition. Quickly before we get started, a big shout out once again to everybody at home tuning in to this broadcast. If you're watching on the TCR app, congratulations and well done to you for getting that downloaded. If you are not, then why not head over to your app provider of choice, download the TCR TV app, register, sign up, it is free, and you can see all the practice and qualification, all the qualification and race sessions from TCR Europe, from the Kumho TCR World Tour, and all of the TCR championships globally across the world. It is free, everything's all in one place. It's a great way to watch some motor racing, so please do consider getting that downloaded and registering and following us over the course of the season in what should be an absolutely incredible year. We've got some fabulous tracks coming up. We're going to Po next in TCR Europe, which is an iconic street circuit, will be an amazing challenge for all of our drivers. But let's worry about that a little bit later on, because there's a small matter of 12 laps of motor racing to go forward. Kobe Powell's qualified in 9th position, debutant in TCR Europe, but not just that, a debutant in touring car racing. He was, last season, the Euro RX3 Rallycross champion. Decided to transition to the world of touring car racing, to tin tops on a circuit, something very, very different indeed. And Kobe Powell's, just 18 years of age, has been incredibly impressive all weekend, right from the very off, thoroughly in control of the car, understands what's happening around him, masses of speed. Speaking to Tom Coronel in our paddock tour earlier on in the weekend, even Tom was saying this is a young man that you absolutely need to keep your eyes very firmly focused on as his career progresses. So the starting grid, Norbert Michelitz pole position from Mikel Ashkona, row 1. Row 2, Rob Huff leading the charge of the Audis alongside teammate Frederick Vervisch in 4th position. Going down to position 5 is Bebu Girolami in the sole Honda Civic that we have on the grid today, alongside Marcin Hua in the first of the Lincoln Co. Cyan Racing cars. Tom Coronel starts in 7th ahead of Ted Bjork in 8th position. Difficult qualifying for Bjork, managed to get through into the top 12 and will start today. Kobe Powell's, who we've just been speaking about, lines up in 9th place alongside Santiago Urrutia in 10th position. Jan Elishay is 11th on the grid. John Philippi joins him on the 6th row in 12th position. Victor Davidovski, returning once again for Kumho Racing, is 13th, just ahead of Dusan Borkovic in 14th place. Victor Anderson, another driver making his touring car debut, is 15th, ahead of Felipe Fernandez in the RC2 Racing team. Isaac Brown, another debutant this season, this weekend for Volcano Motorsport, is 17th, ahead of Isaac Smith in position 18th, and Jason Bagwana, all the way from TCR Australia, lines up 19th ahead of the second of the RC2 Racing Team cars of Ruben Fernandez in 20th position. Nico Baldan making his debut for aggressive Team Italia in the Hyundai Elantra, and TCR is 21st, and Carlson rounds out our grid in 22nd position. Mikael Carlson, another driver making his debut, still has a little bit of pace to find, but is confident of his chances in race conditions. So as I say, 12 laps, incredibly high temperatures, a circuit where you can overtake in a touring car, but also where drama is never far away. So the cars are set off from their grid spots now. The safety car at the back of the field as well. The fans there are eagerly anticipating the racing that is about to begin. And we're entering, folks at home, a new era in touring car racing. This is the TCR Europe 2023 Championship. And with us for this event, we have the new Kumho TCR World Tour. The drivers will score points for the Kumho World Tour classification. Every driver in the field will score points for the Kumho World Tour classification, but the registered World Tour drivers are invisible for the TCR Europe points. So our TCR Europe drivers, our regular season drivers, are still fighting for the maximum points allocation towards their championship charge in 2023 in TCR Europe. We'll talk a little bit later on about the new innovative and first time in motor racing world rankings and what impact that will have on TCR racing across the globe a little bit later on in the broadcast. But right now, the cars headed by Norbert Michelitz are bringing themselves into their grid spots, and we are about to go racing. I don't know about you, but I've been waiting all winter for this moment. Hairs standing up on the back of my arm as we are going to go motor racing for the first time this season in TCR Europe. New teams,
Sweden,
new
we
drivers.
go for it. Hey, yeah, Victor, go for it.
There we go, the MAGP team, Victor Anderson, of course. MAGP's Matthias Anderson, Victor's father. They brought the Gen 1 Lincoln Co. here to the circuit today. So an older generation than the Cyan cars, but still very, very competitive indeed, as we saw Isaac Smith briefly there making his debut in the championship, lining up on the grid in 18th position as we're sitting on board now. The drivers will be preparing themselves. This is Jan Elishay that we're looking from, heading down into T1. They'll be finding the biting points in a few moments when the lights all go red on the gantry above your screen. When they extinguish, we will be racing for the first time. 1, 2, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, and we are go for 2023 here in TCR Europe. The cars fan out, trying to find a little bit of racing space on the tarmac. Norbert Michelitz currently holds the lead, but Ascarar up the inside. Does he have room? No, he does not. The two Kumho cars come close together as well, but Ascarar holds on to second position. There are 20 other cars behind, all squabbling for a little bit of tarmac. That is Tom Coronel going for a spin as well. One of the Lincoln Co's out on the dirty stuff too. Who is that one that we see with a little bit of damage? That is number 112. So that is Santiago Arruti there, under a little bit of strife in the opening few corners of this race. Coronel just about manages to keep going. We'll see if he's got any damage, but again, down into the hairpin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cars, all trying to find the same piece of tarmac, just like we expect in touring car racing. Drama right from the off. Ben Bagwana there in the Peugeot, getting sandwiched between the two aggressive Team Italia cars, but Bagwana holds on for now. Kobe Powell's in his first touring car start, leading a whole gaggle of very experienced touring car drivers. Powell's holding his own in these early stages of the race. Victor Anderson that we're looking at now in the Lincoln Co. Gen 1 for the MAGP car, the bright orange machine that you see on your screen there with close attention behind from one of the RC2 racing cars. But there we go, Santiago Urrutia. Early dramas in T3, damage to the back of that Cyan Racing Lincoln Co. He'll hope to get the car round to the pit lane, but unfortunately, for today at least, his day is done and the team will have work to do overnight to prepare for our second and final race of the weekend tomorrow morning at 11:30 a.m. So big disappointment for Urrutia, but he's managing to hobble the car back to the pits as we cross the timing beam to complete the opening lap of the season, and it is Norbert Michelitz, the man in command at the front of the field. The Elantra N is currently holding station from his teammate Mikel Ashkanar in second position. We're looking again, this has been Victor Anderson in all of the drama in the Gen 1 Lincoln Co, but he's holding on quite nicely indeed at this moment in time. Anderson has got Dusan Borkovic just ahead of him, and Felipe Fernandez for company behind as well. So in good old touring car style, one in front, one behind, you don't know which way to look, attack or defend, as we're seeing one of the Volcano cars now. Is that Brown? No, that is Isaac Smith making a move on Fernandez. So Smith moves up a position after a disappointing qualifying. They've worked on the car, they've changed the setup, they think they found the problem. Let's see if that transfers into race pace. Good start so far in fifth position, as again we're riding on board now. You can see just ahead of you, that is one of the Elantra cars. So quick has been the Ashton machine ahead of us. We're riding on board of course with Rob Huff. We'll find out if he's got enough in the pocket, does Rob Huff, to challenge Hyundai at this early stage in the race. Anderson goes for the grass as well, and that puts him vulnerable to an overtake from the car behind on the defensive, but he's lost the momentum. Does he get it on the brakes? Yes, he does. Smith can't find a way past, and that opens the door for Felipe Fernandez to have a nibble at the rear of that Audi behind. But Fernandez, outside line, suboptimal. He'll run out of space very quickly, and that should be deal done for Smith. Holds on to the position, lives to fight another day in the Volcano Motorsport RS3 TCR. We see sad sight to see so early in the race, so early in the season. Santiago Urrutia got the car back to the pits. The mechanics are working, but Tom Coronel sideways down the inside of one of the Kumho machines. That is John Philippi. Coronel on the lock stops, on the brakes, gets the deal done into T1. That is a sensational overtaking manoeuvre from Tom Coronel. He said to us earlier, he likes to be cautious, he likes to make sure that he's safe and brings the car home, but that is caution to the wind for Dutchman Tom Coronel, 51 years of age, but still just as brave as he's always been. A fantastic move for Coronel. That moves him up into 10th position. John Philippi is the driver and teammate that he has managed to find his way past. But I hope we see that one again, because that was some great action from Coronel. But at the front of the field, look what's happening here. Norbert Michelitz had a comfortable lead one lap ago, but now he's got Afkanar behind and Rob Huff chewing at the rear of this little fight. So a one-way domination at the front of the field is now turning very quickly indeed into a three-way squabble for our race lead. Norbert Michelitz not as comfortable as we've seen him in the race so far. Let's see how that one progresses. Meanwhile, the rest of the field flowing through. Coronel obviously not carrying damage, as there we see Victor Anderson, and in a little bit of strife is Dusan Borkovic goes to see the gravel, and Isaac Smith tries to buy into this one to the outside of Borkovic in the target machine. Will sneak back to the inside to find a space. Little down brakes, recognises there's no opportunity to make the move there, but Smith again, nice tight line. The car, the nose of the car, very positive on that Audi, and that gives him an opportunity. Decides against it, decides for it, decides against it again, and Dusan Borkovic needs to get those tyres cleaned up quickly because he's under some massive pressure from the Volcano car behind. And this is a replay of what just happened. So Anderson, light contact with Borkovic, unfortunately run out of racetrack, goes to see the gravel, gets the car back on again, foot firmly planted to the floor. Well done to Dusan there, but the momentum loss could be very costly indeed. He currently holds on to the position of 14th place, does Dusan Borkovic. So Isaac Smith has work to do to find a way past the target competition machine. Back up at the front of the field once again. Huff still shadowing the two Elantras. Frederick Vervisch behind as well, starting to buy into this one now. So it seems like Norbert Michelitz at the front of the field is acting as somewhat the cork in the bottle. It seems like behind Mikel Avkanar has more pace at this stage in the race, and while they're scrambling, while Michelitz is showing the tight fight at the front of the field, that's allowing the two Audis to get brought into this fight as well. So let's take another look at the start of the race. Keep your eye at the front of the field. We see the two BRC competition Elantras pretty even off the start. Michelitz covers the inside line but goes to the racing line. Avkanar thinks about a move down the inside but recognises the danger and does some good work to cover off from the two Audis behind. This is on board with Rob Huff as we're coming charging down into T1. 1, 2, 3, 4 cars in front. Where do you go? What do you do? Stay out of trouble. That's exactly what you do. Beautiful, by the way, on-board pictures. This is a little bit further down the field in one of the Lincoln Co. This is Ellie Shea's machine that we're riding on board with Tom Coronel just ahead of us. The accordion effect as the cars close down. A little bit of rubbing, a little bit of bumping and boring. There is a Arute. Oh, it is contact. It's contact between teammates. So that's what's happened to Santiago Arute in the middle of a Coronel and Ellie Shea sandwich. Contact between them all, and that is why Santiago Arute is not on our timing screens. Contact with his teammate, and I apologise, this is actually the Rob Huff onboard camera. A fairly clean start from third position, and that's so visual. This just shows you how much easier at the front of the field it really is. Fewer cars around you, fewer things to avoid. The further up the grid you are, the further away from the danger zone that you are. And Avkanar doing good work actually to cover the inside line and protect Norbert Michelitz ahead. As Michelitz, as I say that, runs a little bit deep onto the rumble suits on the outside. That's going to cost him time for the run of the hill. And Avkanar now is fancying his chances, I think, behind his Hungarian teammate. He was excited to race on the TCR Europe stage again. Of course, Avkanar won the championship in 2018 and 2021. He is a young driver, very much at the top of his game in TCR touring car racing. He wants to start the new season. He wants to start the first adventure into the Kumho TCR World Tour with a victory, and now he's starting to snap away at the back of his teammates' heels. And Michelitz, he's got a problem on his hands here, because if these two start fighting very quickly indeed, you're going to find the likes of Rob Huff and Frederick Vervisch and Bebo Girolami and Martin Haar all getting involved in this as well, and very quickly he can go from first all the way down the running order. There you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cars separated by nothing, led by Norbert Michelitz at the front of the field. Big drama, 6 laps in the books. We're at the halfway mark of this race, and what a moment if you are new to TCR racing, if you're new to TCR Europe, to explain that this weekend it is TCR Europe racing with the Kumho TCR World Tour. So all drivers that are competing in the TCR World Tour events will be eligible to score points for the TCR World Tour and the TCR World Ranking. But the TCR World Tour full season entries will not score points in this TCR Europe race. So wherever the highest position TCR Europe finishing driver will be, they will get maximum TCR Europe points. And alongside that, we also have the TCR World Ranking, where every driver that races in an official sanctioned TCR race, no matter where it is in the world, will score ranking points, much like ATP tennis, for example. Those ranking points will show where they are globally in comparison to the 1,000, 1,200, 1,300 other TCR drivers. And at the end of the year, the top 45 of those ranked drivers, plus the top 15 finishing positions in the Kumho TCR World Tour, will go to a grand finale in early 2024 for a one-off event to be crowned the overall champion. So there's a lot to race for. There's the race that you're in now, the championship that you're competing in, and also an eye on the global rankings for the world final that will be coming early next year. So all these drivers, it's easy for them. They think of one thing only: car fast. Somebody in front, overtake, and worry about the points a little bit later on, as we see it now. That is Afkanar just looking to the inside, telegraphing to Mitchell. It's keeping the car nice and cool. We've got some incredible temperatures, it has to be said, here in the Algarve at the Portimão circuit, so it's good to get the car out of the warm air ahead, make sure everything stays cool, make sure everything stays reliable, because at this moment in time, the BRC Hyundai N Squadra Corsa team are on course for a 1-2 in the first race at TCR Europe and the first Kumho TCR World Tour event as well. And that's a big thing to mark your name in the history books. So much as Afkanar will be interested in finding a way past, he has to moderate that somewhat when racing against his teammate. And Rob Huff keeping a watching brief behind. Huff not quite as close as we've seen him, actually, if anything, coming under a little bit of pressure from Frederick Verviche behind as well. So Huff now has his mirrors filled with his teammate in the Kumho car, as the front windshield, as you can see, filled with the rear of the Elantra ahead. And it's great to see Rob Huff here in TCR Europe, here in the Kumho TCR World Tour as well. A very talented driver, a former champion, of course, plying his trade now still at the top level of international TCR touring car racing. The sole Bebo Girolami driven Honda FL5 TCR, the new Honda Civic car in this field, currently holding on to a very respectable indeed 5th position. So Bebo will be very satisfied with the data gathering that's come from what is a strong position. You can see the timing on the bottom with our new graphics on screen. What we're looking at here now, that is Fernandez, so Felipe Fernandez on the inside, while Anderson and Smith, a little bit of a kiss at speed, turns into a sandwich, and Victor Anderson does not have enough room for 3 cars in a corner where really only one should go, and Anderson has a little bit of a hip and shoulder with Fernandez as well, but luckily keeps the car on the straight and narrow and is still very firmly in this race, down in 16th position, which is third, my apologies, of the rookie drivers. The rookies headed by Kobe Powell's having a good race, a clean race in the Kumho machine, currently in 10th position. So 8 laps on the books, currently led by Nobi Michelic from Mikel Afkona in 2nd and Rob Huff in 3rd position. Frederick Verviche in 4th ahead of Bebo Girolami, and Marcin Hua in 6th position, the lead of the Lincoln Co. Cyan Racing Machines, just ahead of his teammate Jan Elishay. Good drive actually in this race from Elishay. He's moved up very nicely indeed from his 11th position. Starting place is where we go. Victor Anderson once again in the heated battle. Just ahead of him is the sole Peugeot of Australia's Ben Bargwanna, having himself a great race in his first motorsport event outside of Australia. Bargwanna up into 17th place. It's all about learning, it's all about banking solid results for the Australian at this moment in time, but he's doing good to clear himself of this little fight between Anderson and Ruben Fernandez behind. Anderson in the MAGP Lincoln Co. Generation 1, and Ruben Fernandez racing for the RC2 racing team back in TCR Europe for another crack alongside his brother. Fernandez goes one side, then the other, tries to get the run over Anderson, which he does very nicely indeed, even before the braking zone, and moves up 1 position. So good drive from Fernandez there into 18th, demoting Victor Anderson down a position further down the running order. Just going on to the Diamond Trophy for a moment as well for drivers over the 35 years of age. Tom Coronel is the lead driver registered for Diamond Trophy, currently running in 11th position overall, just ahead of Dusan Borkovic. Victor Davidovsky in 3rd in that particular category within the overall TCR Europe Championship standings. Let's ride for a moment now on board with Rob Huff in the Kumho Racing Audi. 3rd position, the 2 BRC Hyundais just ahead of him. And this is going to be fascinating to me to see how these cars progress over the course of the stint. We're seeing Frederick Verviche, who was all the way in that fight just a couple of laps ago, but whether it's through a mistake or whether the car started to go away, but Vervish is dropping back now into the clutches of Bebo Girolamo. Huff seems to have the measure of his Audi at this moment in time, but Vervish, for my money, is the man under pressure at this moment, really struggling to hold on to the car and hold on to position. Let's take another look. This is another Victor Anderson bit of drama. We saw some smoke from the front of the car, courtesy of earlier contact. And sadly, Anderson being demoted by the second RC2 racing machine. So Victor Anderson in a little bit of trouble. He wanted to stay out of the way. He was hoping to convert some of the very, very good pace that we've seen from the Swedish driver over the course of the weekend. But it's been a baptism of fire for Victor Fernandez. But he's still in this race, and every lap that you do at this level, with his experience level, is a valuable commodity indeed. Through the final corner once again to start lap number 10 at the start of this racing season, and again it is Frederik Vervish under pressure from Girolamo. That Honda Civic FL5 Type R, the new TCR model from Honda, and the new Civic in this competition, has done very little driving globally. It made its debut at the start of the TCR UK Championship in the hands of Chris Smiley, and it's just not quite as well developed as some of those cars around it. A very high ceiling of potential, but it's every time you take it on the racetrack, it's a learning experience for team, car and driver. So Girolamo doing great work so far to keep the car firmly in the conversation for a top 5 position, and next 2 laps may be an opportunity to find a way past. And there is Victor Anderson, MAGP in the Lincoln Co. The damage just a little bit too much, and the 2 laps to spare, he's heading down pit road, possibly into retirement. We'll see if he comes back out again, but that's a real shame for Victor Anderson. But don't forget, he has a chance to come back again tomorrow for our second race, so all is not lost, and that'll be a useful experience. He can chalk off having completed a race start and an opening lap and racing in close competition in a touring car. So all valuable learning experiences, extra tools in the armoury of Victor Anderson that he will then use to hopefully his advantage as the season progresses. Still, this fight continues in 4th and 5th position. Frederik Vervish in the Continue Racing Audi that we see car number 122, using all the curves, using the undulations of the circuit as well to try and extract as much pace as possible, with Bebo Girolamo right behind him. And here is a race of complete and utter extremes. Kobe Powell's his first ever car race in a TCR car, just ahead of Tom Coronel, who at 51 years of age has been at the forefront of touring car racing for nigh on 3 decades, if not more now. So Coronel using all that experience in his data banks to try and put his young teammate Kobe Powell's under pressure, with the ambition, the target at the end of the day for Coronel to get past and break his way in to the top 10 finishing positions. But he's not got a chance at this moment in time. Coronel, we saw, was in a little bit of drama in the opening lap, had the car very firmly sideways courtesy of a little bit of lap 1 shenanigans, but that's not holding him back too much at this stage. And Coronel running strongly in 11th position, just behind his Continue Racing teammate and John Philippi as well. Another one of the 4 Continue cars we have here in Europe has snuck his way up into 9th position as well, in a typically John Philippi style way, staying out of trouble, flying under the radar and scoring a good result. Light lock-up from Michelitz at the front of the field. Nothing to be too concerned about. There's a touring car legend, if ever I've seen one. Gabriele Tarquini, team manager of the BRC Hyundai N Squadra Corsa outfit. Retired from driving a couple of years ago with World Championships to his name. Victories across multiple decades in multiple championships, and now using that experience for the betterment of his team. Felipe Fernandez using the experience of the curbs to see if the outside rumble strips offer up any more grip in that number 19 car. I dare say that's not somewhere you'd wish to venture on a regular basis if you want a good result, as we now cross the line, courtesy of Novi Michelitz, to start the final lap of race 1 in TCR Europe and the Kumho TCR World Tour. It has gone by in a flash, just like touring car racing is supposed to be. 12 intense laps, headed right from the very off from pole position by Norbert Michelisz. If you read it on paper, it does not tell the story of the race. First, second and third cross the line in first, second and third. It has been a ding-dong battle throughout the field, and with just over half a lap to go, there's still potentially some stories to be told here at Portimão for this first race of the season, the first race into a brave new era of touring car racing in the world of TCR, and I'm delighted that you're alongside us and with us for this journey. It's going to be an exciting year in TCR Europe, an exciting adventure in the Kumho TCR World Tour as well, as we're coming now to the final part of the lap. Azcanar electing to play the safe, play the percentages game, not challenging too hard his teammate. Of course, if Michelisz makes a mistake, Azcanar will walk through the open door, but he's not going to force the issue. Take second position, good points for himself, outstanding result for his team, a 1-2 first time of asking, and Norbert Michelisz now coming through into the last few corners of the lap. Only a little bit more to go before that checkered flag will be waved, and Michelisz has been on form from the second the green flag waved in qualification. Secured a slender pole position from his teammate as he rounds the final corner. Car number 105 for the BRC Hyundai N Quadricorsa team. Norbert Michelisz takes the victory, and with it, the very first win in TCR Europe in 2023 in a 1-2 for Hyundai and for BRC, followed by Mikel Azcanar in second position, with Rob Huff from Great Britain in the Kumho Audi, rounding out our very first podium of the season. Frédéric Verviche crosses the line, holds on for fourth position ahead of Bebo Girolamo. Martin Hua is in sixth position as the lead Cyan Racing Lincoln Co machine ahead of his teammate Jan Elishay in seventh place. Ted Bjork in eighth, making it three of the Lincoln Co's in a row. In ninth position, John Philippi and Kobe Powell's, the most impressive debut I've seen in a very long time, rounds out our top 10 just ahead. Tom Coronel, Dusan Borkovic in 12th, Victor Davidovsky 13th, Isaac Smith recovers to position 14th ahead of Felipe Fernandez. Nico Baldan from the back of the grid works his way up to position 16th. In 17th, Ben Barguana from Ruben Fernandez. Lewis Brown, Carlson, Anderson and Arutier retire from the race. And breathe. What a barnstorming start to the season that has been. And don't forget, we're going at it again tomorrow morning. So this is just the beginning. If this is your first time here with us in TCR, here with us in TCR Europe, this is just a small taste of what you can expect over the course of the year. So get yourself signed up, download, sign up to the TCR TV app and follow us over the course of the year, because we have great racing just like this, if not better, all year long. And this is why, folks at home, touring car racing is sensational. It produces incredible stories, incredible heroes, and just outstanding racing. And Norbert Michelisz is the man of the moment for sure in this race. Pole position, led down into T1, withstood the pressure from his teammate Mikel Azcanar behind. Don't forget, Azcanar, a double TCR Europe champion, so he knows his way around this championship, but Michelisz never put a wheel wrong. Absorbed all the pressure like we know that he can, like the champion that he is. And his reward, the checkered flag and the race victory. TCR Europe opening round, Kumho TCR World Tour first position, and there you have it. 22 minutes, 38 seconds and 7/10 of a second of hard work in hot conditions. But Norbert Michelisz is your race winner. Mikel Azcanar in second position for Rob Huff, Frédéric Verviche, Bebo Girolamo, Martin Hua, Jan Elishay, Ted Bjork, John Philippi and Kobe Powell's are the first top 10 of the season. And Tom Coronel, Dusan Borkovic, Victor Davidovsky, Isaac Smith, Felipe Fernandez, Nico Baldan, Ben Barguana, Ruben Fernandez, Lewis Brown and Carlson round out our top 20. Sadly, Victor Anderson and Santiago Urrutia out of this race, courtesy of contact in the early stages of the race, which we don't like to see. We hope the problems aren't too large and the cars can be repaired and back out again in full flavour and full form for race 2, which, I'll mention it now while we're on the subject, takes place tomorrow at 11:15 local time, which is 10:15 UTC. So again, TCR TV app or TCR TV on YouTube, you can catch all of the action as it unfolds and see if Norby Michelitz can make it 2 out of 2. It's going to be a little bit difficult with a grid topsy-turvy compared to what we've seen today, but Michelitz has shown composure and shown pace. Nothing is out of the question here at the Portimão circuit. So there we see, that is Mikel Ashkenar out of the car, gets the hat on, removes the earpiece. Now no need to talk to the team anymore because the job has been done. So now there's some handshaking and some back patting that needs to be done. Look how much that means to Michelitz. He's delighted with his victory, and so he should be. A very hard-earned, well-earned victory for Norby Michelitz there, and Ashkenar will have to be satisfied with second. The drivers at this level never want to be second, especially not to the teammates, but a new era of racing and a 1-2 for the BRC team. Cannot complain at all at that one, as Rob Huff very sportingly goes over there to congratulate our race victor, and a good day's work there for Huffy as well. 3rd position on debut for Kumho, a late put together deal, so good result. Let's have a quick word with our race winner, back down with Francisco Melo on pit road.
We are here with race 1 winner Norbert Michelitz. Norbert, congratulations. You were talking before the race, a bit of concern of tire deck, but that was a lights to flag win. Congratulations. Tell us about your race.
Yeah, thank you very much, first of all. I have to say huge thanks to the team, because you know, to be immediately confident is a very nice feeling, and I had the car today in qualifying and also in the race to push, so I was flat out from the first moment. Of course, in the beginning, with Mikel being close, I knew I need to push. So in the end, very happy. It's always easy to start on front and then to lead the race after a good start. It's a very demanding circuit, but it's a great day nevertheless, finishing on pole position and then winning the first race.
Congratulations, Norbert.
Great to hear from your race winner, Norby Michelitz. He said it wasn't easy, and it didn't look easy out there. The temperatures are extremely high. As I've said before, this is a new experience. This team have come in to TCR Europe for this one on Kumho tyres, which is a new experience for them. They're never 100% confident of where the car will be over the course of the stint, but Michelitz is our race winner, and with that one scores 45 of the World Tour points. Ashkenar, in second position, 10 further adrift in the points table. And as I said at the beginning of the show, and let's remember this one, World Tour, in this race, every driver scores World Tour points, but the World Tour drivers are invisible to the TCR Europe points classification. So here we go, perfect timing. John Philippi is the TCR Europe Championship leader from, believe it or not, Kobe Powell's in second position. What a start to his career in tin tops. Tom Coronel, second in the championship last year, 3rd overall in the championship standings now. So a great start to the racing season for all of our drivers. And we'll do it all again very shortly. So race 1, full of drama right from the very off. Everybody eagerly anticipated the start of the season, and the season started with a great run down into T1 for Norbert Michelitz. A little bit of drama further down the running order, light contact amongst some of the cars. One or two drivers going to visit the gravel trap as well. Unfortunately, Anderson was a man very firmly in the middle of much of that drama, that contact, and others leading to an early retirement from this race. We had movers and shakers up and down the field. Fernandez went to see the scenery a little bit as well, but kept the car on the racetrack. Thankfully, no such problems though for car number 105. Norbert Michelitz, pole position, race lead, an eventual race victory from his teammate Mikael Alcanar in second position for a perfect start for the BRC Hyundai N Squadra Corsa outfit, and a perfect start to the beginning of what should be a very exciting TCR Europe Championship. Gabriele Tarquini there, team manager of BRC, will be satisfied with what is seen, but a driver of the calibre of Gabriele and the calibre of the BRC team, they won't be holding fire. They won't be resting on their laurels. They'll be working very hard indeed to make sure that all the ingredients are together and ready for a good race again tomorrow when we go round two. And here we go now, podium celebration time for the first time this year. Rob Huff, to the applause of the audience, steps out and takes the bottom step of the podium positions in third position. Mikael Alcanar, second place on his return to TCR Europe. A very strong result indeed. And then we're looking forward to seeing the smile on his face. There we go, Norbe, shake hands, give it a hug to your teammate as well. Few words whispered in the ear. A race victory, national anthems. If I was a betting man, I'd like to say that will not be the last time we hear the Hungarian national anthem this season. Great result for Norbi Michelitz. Photographs of the podium as well there. Everybody eagerly anticipating what's to come. And Marcello Lotti, of course, WSC president, the godfather of touring cars, some might say, awards the trophy to third place man Rob Huff. There we go, in second position. To Mikael Ascanar, holds it aloft there. Great Kumho tyre trophy that these drivers take home for their results in this round, and there is the winner. A hug, few words of encouragement, smiles all round, trophy aloft. Norbi Michelitz takes the trophy for the victory, and a well-deserved one at that one. Then, of course, the BRC Hyundai N Squadra Corsa team take the winning team's trophy as well. A perfect result, 2 cars entered, 2 cars first across the line for the Hyundai Elantra, so superb stuff for them as well in what has been a barnstorming, a cracking first race. Photographs, as is always the case, of the top 4 on the podium as well, just to celebrate the moment. Mark it down in your diaries, folks. This is a little bit of history. That is the first top 3 in TCR Europe in 2023, and also we're running alongside the Kumho TCR World Tour. So today is a little moment in the history books at the beginning of a new era, and these guys are very, very quick at a touring car, but my goodness, they don't know how to open a bottle of champagne. There we go, at long last. Are you going to spray? Yes, there we go, spraying the champagne as is traditional. Norbi Michelitz taking all of the plaudits of the crowd as well, and Rob Huff wisely getting to the side, doesn't want to really get involved in that one, and I'm looking forward to strong wafts of champagne when I go and interview them a little bit later on. But our first podium, folks at home, and what a podium it is. Norbi Michelitz, Mikael Alcanar and Rob Huff. 3 exceptional names in the world of touring car racing. 3 drivers world-renowned for their abilities behind the wheel. And they've come here and shown us just how touring car racing needs to be done. Great drive from everybody, to be fair, in the field. I always like to see everybody home safely, everybody put on a good show for the fans at the track and the fans at home, as now we're doing the TCR Europe podium. Third position, Tom Coronel. His young teammate, man of the match for me, Kobe Powell's. Incredible result, second in Europe, and overall in the finishing order, 10th position. And then first place, the maximum point scorer in TCR Europe is John Philippi, so making his debut for Kumho Racing as once again a great result for Philippi under the radar. So let's have the national anthems.
Congratulations, gentlemen.
Superb stuff there for John Philippi taking the victory, and Paolo Ferreira, TCR Europe promoter, is on stage to hand out the trophies. Tom Coronel there, cheer from the crowd, ever a fan favourite, it has to be said. Tom Coronel, seems bizarre to see him running in different colours to what we're used to, but there we go. I don't think this is going to be the last time that man picks up a trophy in touring car racing. Kobe Powell's, on his debut in car racing, takes second in the TCR Europe classification, and then John Philippi lifts aloft his trophy on debut for Kumho Racing, first time out in the Audi RS3 TCR, and then Kumho Racing, the team's trophy as well. And let's see if we've got a little bit better with the champagne this time than we saw in the last race. Do we get it uncut? There we go, a Coronel leap in the air, and again, second time of asking, always for the photographers. Fantastic stuff from all three of the drivers. Thoroughly enjoyed seeing their celebrations, thoroughly enjoyed seeing the racing action as well. Up for the photographers as well, of course, trophies aloft. Brilliant stuff, and for everybody at home, we're nearly done here. I need to remind you, race 2 tomorrow, 11:15 local time, 10:15 UTC on the TCR TV app and on TCR TV on YouTube. Come and join us. Race 2 is always even more dramatic, but from me in the commentary box and all of the team, thank you very much indeed, and we'll talk to you next time out tomorrow morning.